ElLife, yo, 20 en ElLife desde Montreal sobre rap latino para el mundo. 20 ElLife.
¿Qué pasó mi gente? ¿Qué pasó mi gente? ¿Qué pasó mi gente? Duende Peter Parker hoy en ElLife. La fecha es el 9 de noviembre. Vamos a tener una entrevista con Powerfull y Val. Algo muy interesante que tengo que mencionar. La guest de hoy, pues vamos a hacerlo pues en inglés primero que nada. Y segundo también pues les voy a explicar por qué la escogimos. So like I said, today we're going to do an interview with Soulful Val. And we're gonna talk about the things that she done and stuff like that. But one thing that we want to mention is the fact that she saw what we were doing and she approached us for to be part of the show, and that's something that we respect. So that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna talk to her and see what it is, man. So let's do it.
Hello.
Soulful Val, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Yeah. So right now you're outside. Are you okay? I mean, like you're okay to talk and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So like I said, in life, what we do usually is, about like the culture in the Latin community, about like rap and stuff like that. But I mean, like we do, other stuff too, and something that was nice with you is the fact that, you approach us. I think that maybe you saw what we were doing or something. And we thought that it was really nice, because even for us, it's like showing up that we are growing up. And I thought, it was a nice way of doing things. So that's why today we're talking to you. So we're going to know, a little bit of what you do, a little bit of, I think you do a little bit of music. You have a
Yes.
podcast too.
Yes.
And
I do.
and by the way, like for people, I invite people to go see your Instagram because you have a beautiful voice, like kind of soul, right?
Yes. I do.
Okay. Perfect. So first of all, for people who doesn't know, what's your name?
My name is Soulfully Val on Instagram, but I go by Val. And I basically am a podcaster. I'm a inspiring motivational speaker, trying to basically inspire my dreams, show
Okay.
people other people's sides of reflecting back on their life, their trauma. That's basically what I talk on my show, how they overcame it, and advices that they would tell other people. And then like what music, art, poetry they created in that process. So I talk about all of that stuff. So we talk about that song, we talk about that poem, we talk about, that first moment they fell in love with music and then why. So I just feel like it's important to incorporate it because I've had magicians on my show, I've had poets on my show, I've had so many people
Nice.
with different walks of life. And it's been very exciting to learn that everybody has a different struggle, different weakness, different overcoming. So yeah, that's basically what I talk about. And I always try to tell people to do the best that they can to be the best version of themselves on a daily basis. I think it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. But right now you're in the States, right?
Hmm?
You're in the States?
Yeah, I'm basically in Jersey, New Jersey.
Okay,
I'm located
okay.
in Lodi, New Jersey.
Nice. And what's your background?
My background, I am Dominican and Puerto Rican. I'm brought up
Mm,
I'm partially brought up in Patterson, New Jersey, but also brought up in Puerto Rico, Arecibo. My first language was Spanish. Then I came here to the States and it was like culture shock because everything was cold. I came in a horrible time. And then after that, it was basically history. I started learning English. And then from there, I started developing this gift of mine at a very certain age. But I didn't know about it. It was something that was told to me by a teacher. So,
okay. So you're talking about like your speech thing, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, can you tell me how did you get where you at now? Like, you know, how you know it was a gift? Like, did you study in that kind of stuff? And especially now, you know, like in the pandemic that we're living and stuff like that, I think that is something that, you know, a lot of people would need right now, you know?
No, absolutely. I think I agree with you. I think music heals wounds that we are incapable of acknowledging ourselves. I think it opens us to be receptible to things that some of us hide, and because of our influences as artists, it comes from our hearts, it comes from our experience, and when it's genuine and it comes real, someone will get that message across. And I think when people understand where the story came from, where it derived from, they could better get a connection and full understanding of the song that the artist created, that the poet wrote, that the magician did. Whatever it was, it just needs to know where it comes from. I need to feel where it derived from. And I think that's the same thing that I come from as well. It's like I want people to understand that this is not just something for the glitz and the glam and like for the spotlight. This is something that's always came to me, even though I've always ran away from it. I was scared of it. I was scared of performing to people, but going to church, being brought up in a church setting, going to being a worship leader, from then being in a worship band that traveled to different states to perform to different churches, that exposed me to more public speaking, that exposed me to more of like being able to speak in a public audience. And just before you knew it, I had jobs too that involved sales, customer service, that helped me progress more in my public speaking. That basically, hey everyone, everybody's kicking it. Um, so yeah, like it just helped me progress more into that person that I was meant to be, and I didn't know it. It just came natural to me. It's more of like getting to know someone that is able to be transparent, able to be open on what they've gone through personally in their lives, and they aren't afraid to share their story because they're hoping that someone out there relates to it and can get healed from it because you overcame it. Maybe I've
Yeah.
had some people tell me that they were brought up in abusive homes, that they were addicted to so many things, that they were homeless, that they were kicked out, that they didn't, like people being so vulnerable and transparent in that moment and period, that they were going through that in their lives, that they created the best albums, they created the best piece of work, they did the best that they could. That's how Harry Potter was made. That's how these amazing things were made when they were in when you were in the dirt, when you were grinding, not in stop. Like you don't know if the money's coming. You don't know if it's gonna be here, if it's granted, or if it's for certain. But you're willing to do anything you need to do to get to it. That's why people go to
So
college,
basically,
right?
basically, it's like a state of mind. You use that like not only with music, you use it like in your life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice, nice. And you do speak Spanish.
Sí, yo hablo español.
Ah, okay. Eso yo no sabía.
Sí, yo hablo los
Because
dos, los dos idiomas, sí.
nice, okay. Entonces lo vamos a hacer un poquito en español. Y entonces
Ok,
tú
está
dijiste
bien.
que empezaste un poco a hacer la música, ejemplo, en la iglesia.
Sí, en iglesia. Yo estaba cantando en iglesia del grupo de la adoración. Ujú.
Oh,
De adoraciones y
nice.
todo esto. Yo estaba en un grupo que se llamaba Pentecostales, que se llamaba Los Levitas. Y yo estaba ahí en el año, cuando yo tenía año 16. So, cuando yo tenía los años de 16 a los, hasta como 20, 24, yo estaba
Oh,
en iglesia, cantando, yendo a diferentes iglesias en Maryland, DC, Washington, todos áreas aquí en los Estados Unidos, cantando. Y ahí cuando yo estaba muy cómoda, cuando yo estaba en frente de las personas y todo eso. So, like, it just took time.
oh,
Cogió tiempo. Ujú.
pero, did you take like, some lessons? ¿O era, o sea, natural? O sea, porque tú dices que estabas, o sea, cantando con like a choral, pero digo, o sea, ¿tú
Sí, yo
tomabas
estaba,
también cursos?
sí, yo tomaba muchos cursos y todo eso. Yo tenía muchas, like, maestras y maestros de vocals, voices, yo no sé
Vocals,
cómo se llama.
yeah.
So, yo tenía todo
But it's
eso.
okay, you
So, like,
sound cute, so it's perfect.
yeah, I was like the vocals. I was like, I don't know. So, yo tenía maestros de todo eso y ellos me enseñaban cómo hacer todo, cómo controlar mi voz, cómo cantar propiamente y no como estresar todo y como hacerlo muy mal, porque cuando tú lo haces mal, tú puedes dañar tu voz y tú puedes dañar algo ahí sobre
Yeah.
tiempo y eso es muy mal porque cuando eso se pasa, tú no sabes si, tú sabes, muchas cosas te puede pasar, tú puedes perder toda tu voz y ni poder cantar la misma vez, so it's like, it's not worth it, you know, like a la misma vez, like, contrólate tu voz, deja de tiempo con todo, con enseñarte todo, haciendo los warm-ups como, you know, controlar la voz, controlar el respiración, controlar todo eso viene con cantar professional, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, but that's what I just want to mention that like people need to go on your Instagram because like right now you're just talking and everything, but seriously like you have a wonderful voice, like it's really powerful. And
thank you.
us what we do is mostly rap. Some of us like they do more like urban music and everything. But I mean like when I heard your voice, because at first like I said, your inbox us, so I was like, okay, who's this person or whatever. So I went on your Instagram. And when I saw like like I don't remember which one it was, but I know I clicked on a video and you were singing just in front of the camera and stuff like that. So it was like no like effect, nothing like that. And I was like, damn, no, I think it was in a bar, something like that. Yeah, I think it was in a bar. You're in a bar like singing something. And
Mhm.
when I heard your voice, I'm like, damn, man, okay, yo, this girl, man, yo, she has like a powerful voice. So like, and that's why I asked you, like, are you doing music right now, or are you working on it?
Right now, I'm currently working on coming out with a couple singles. And basically, what's going to come to it is very sensual, sexual R&B vibes, also very old school, taking you guys back to some old school vibes. Because, like, again, I'm very soulful R&B. That's who I stand for. That's like where my heart is. Jazz is where my heart is. So I want to come out with those kind of settings to give you guys who Val is. So I'm taking my time into doing that, my originals. But I have an intro to Reflections that's coming out, which is my podcast. And I have an intro for that. So whenever I come on, I just have like something in the ambiance, just like there, and I'm just chilling, like it's like reflections, like it's my whole thing. And yeah, so like I just trying to make it as I go. And I've been meeting up with a lot of musicians lately. We've been jamming out. We've been seeing what we've been working with. Shout out to a lot of people from Newark and New Brunswick, Jersey City, like you name it. I've been
All
working
right.
all around New Jersey, literally.
So,
Edison.
but are you willing to work? Like let's say some hip hop or rap stuff, or it depends. It depends of the project.
If I would do hip hop, it would be very Lauryn Hill vibes. It would be very
Mm.
Floetry vibes. It wouldn't be so hip hoppy. It would be more of like poetry mixed with rap and like R&B sort of. But I would probably have to play with it a little bit more to see because my family has also mentioned that I should have considered that because they think I would do good in that too. I'm just like, oh my god. So I'm gonna see. I'm like, I don't
How-
know if I should do that line of work, but I will stick to my lane. I'm singing, I'm doing motivational speaking, I'm looking forward to teaching people how to sing. I'm looking forward to, doing more interviews, documentary series coming out soon on YouTube. So
oh,
there's a lot of
okay.
there's a lot of things. Hmm.
And what's the meaning of like a like soulfully Val? Like what's the meaning of it? Like really?
Soulfully Val. Val came from my last name. My last name is Valerio, which is my Dominican last name is descendant. So I
Publica.
said instead of me coming out of Valerio, which is basically my family name in DR, I said let me just take the Ariel and just keep the Val, the VAL, and my government name is Michelle. So it just doesn't correlate. So people are just like, where did you get Val? I thought it was Valerie. And I'm just like, no, my name is Michelle. Miche Valerio. So, yeah, so like, it's just, that's what I'm going to go by when I speak. I do some acting. I might do some voiceover. I might be, doing a lot of singing everywhere. I might be doing speaking. I'll be doing some fighting. I do some fitness. I'm basically trying to promote that everybody should do wellness for themselves and that they shouldn't stop anyone from allowing them to do anything that they desire at the moment that they want it presently. Like presently
Yeah.
right now, if anyone right now is unhappy, they should just think right now presently, breathe in, close their eyes, and just really think on what really is making them truly unhappy, and get down to the nitty
Right.
gritty of it, because it's important to find true happiness and not depend on someone else to give you that happiness, because you can't depend on that person to always pour into you, because they're going to get tired. You're going to get tired from constantly pouring into them. It's going to be very exhausting. You guys are going to end up, resenting one another. It's just going to be like this whole cycle, and you never understand why. And that's because you're not working in yourselves. You're always outpouring in everyone else and not thinking of what yourself. And that's why self-reflection is very important. That's why self-awareness is very important, because if you're going back to your old ways, like let's say you got a habit, everybody got habits. If you go back to your habits that you used to always pick up to cope, that you know you shouldn't pick up, you should always be like, whoop, 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 I can't go there. You don't have the adults to do this anymore. You are your own adult. You are your own parent. So it's just a matter of following on the
Yeah.
actions that you speak of, because adults like to talk a lot of action. Right. Oh, my cousin's on the line. I love her. Hi, Ruby. So like, yeah, meditation is important. Being
Yeah.
present in the moment and thinking of what's really wrong with me, like, and if not, be at peace, find your inner peace. Don't allow these things to trouble you, because the world is going through so much, and it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to get caught up in the doubts, the fears, and like a lot of people like to project their fears onto you too, because they don't want to see you
Straight
win.
up.
So you got to be
Right.
careful too with that energy. You got to be careful with your friends that you bring around, because I've learned that first serving in this industry is that you can't be so willing to be so eager to everyone else, because not everyone is willing to give you that same treatment right back. It can be
Yes.
very
True.
one-sided. So it's just about and being more concerned of the
Damn,
surroundings.
yo, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
hi
right.
Kazi, I love you too. I love you too,
And how
Paul.
did reflection with Valve started?
Reflections with Val started after I left a podcast on a very bad
Oh,
terminology.
okay, okay,
So it happened out of that, but it happened because I felt like it need to. What happens? It happened because life, and I had either a decision to either quit or start my own. And I was so fearful of it, because I'm like, I'm only one person. And before I had three people, before I had a team, like, what am I going to do? I don't have no money. It was all of these doubts, fears, things coming up, but I had a dream, and I was like, but this is what makes me happy. So I'm like, I can't just sit here and wallow. I have to do something about this, because I was not for nothing. Let's be real. We could have our weak moments. I was sitting in my corner and wallowing for 3 weeks. But then at one point I was like, nah, I can't do this. I have to get up.
okay.
I have to do something for myself, right? So those are those lessons, and as an adult, that you have that light bulb moment, like, you got to do something. You have to ignite. You have to try. You can't just do this. You have something to live for. You got this to do, and you got to start planning. You got to start manifesting, really truly getting down to the root causes of your pain to understand where they sprout from, why they're targeted, why are they triggered, who triggers it, what triggers it. Like, you need to like really understand yourself, and the only way of doing that is sitting in that hour, having that time to yourself. And hi, Freedom Fighter Space, what's going on? I love the support, love them. They're a very good activist group from Newark. But I just feel like all of us should definitely just have that time to just always be real with ourselves. Never, you should be looking at yourself in the mirror, and before somebody talks shit about you, you already know the shit that you need to talk to yourself about. You know what I'm saying? Like, before
Nice,
you
nice.
feel some type of way, it's like, I already know that I'm arrogant. I already know that I could be self-righteous. You don't got to tell me. I know that's my problem, and I'm working on it. I know that I have a pride issue. I know that I have a commitment issue. And I'm, you know what? I'm working on it. There's nothing wrong with us being genuine and real and saying that. But for some reason, we want to feel uncomfortable with being vulnerable and open and saying that to each other, because we don't know what you might do with that information. Why? Like, it's just stupid. Like, where did the trust or the mistrust come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to just have this connection as a people nowadays. We're like always disconnected and divided, and we need to just come together. Like, stronger together is the term, separated and
Yeah,
divided is not. When did it come up with tit for tat? When did it come up with competition? It came up with competition in your head. Maybe there's something that you need to fix in yourself. That's your own problem and insecurity that has nothing to do with the other person that's driving, that's living, that's not afraid to go over obstacles that you are afraid of going. Maybe you should ask that person, how are you able to overcome this obstacle? Because I find it hard to overcome this obstacle. Tell me the things that you've gone through, but for some reason we're afraid of opening up to that vulnerability to each other because of social media or whatever you want to call it these days.
Yeah.
The standards of these classes, of these groups, whatever you want to call it, we strive on that standard and that feeling of missing out. I don't want to miss out on the group event. I don't want to miss out on this. Why did it become such a pressure? Because of social media and because we're always constantly watching what our friends and our inner groups do. So it's just like, don't let it get in your head. It's just a matter of living true to who you are, being who you are, standing true to who you are. And to be honest, is
Yeah.
really looking within, like deep within, and from where all the pain was caused, where all the confusion, where every single obstacle you've gone through, it's literally about going within that pit to exert and allow your authenticity to flow out into your music, into your art. It shouldn't be about class or competition or numbers or whatever. The numbers will come, the people will come if
Yeah.
your art and if your shit's coming from that place. And I tell people that on the real, there's
Straight
no
up.
code to it. There's no nothing. Are you really hungry, or are you saying that you want it and not really putting in the work? That's really the truth, to be honest, because people like Cardi B and Beyonce had 3 days of sleepless nights of consistent practicing, consistent vocal warm up, whatever you want to call it, escalating and singing at the same time. They had to do that work to get to where they wanted to. But no one saw the behind the scenes, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are you willing to do to it? You know, are you gonna sleep all
Yeah.
day, or are you
There's a
gonna
lot of
wake up?
sacrifice.
It's a lot of sacrifice, discipline into this shit, and there's no shortcuts, there's no easy way out, and that's what every entrepreneurship needs to understand. Period. You want to sing? Cool. You got to do that time. You got to do that work. You got to go ahead. You got to practice. You got to make sure you go out and be active, network, make sure you meet other people. If you're really down with it, if you really want to be about what you speak on, make sure that you really resonate with what your song is about when you perform, and not make it be like, oh my God, I'm putting on a song. Why are you making it that way? So I feel like your music is coming from the image and the attention, and it's not really coming from, I want to do this because I love it. So it's like, that really bothers me. Like when people use artistry and like craft as like as a come up, as an image, it just really irks me. But I don't understand
They
it
don't have no
sometimes.
soul. They don't
They
have
have
no soul.
they have no soul, and eventually people always come to light and see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they never really rise up on the come up, and they never really get put in that spotlight, because you're emulating and trying to be someone that you look up to. You're not coming from a place of, like I said, where that pit is, where that pain is, where that experience is, and just like, yeah, I'm a child. Like, you just coming from like a great grind. And like, I feel like when I go to events, I scalp out people, and there's sometimes only 3 or 1 person that I like. And that person, I
Oh,
just feel their pain, yo. Like, I'm just like, yo, they're performing right now, and that'll be the only person. Like, and those are the people that I'm just like, I need to have that person on Reflections. I know that they'll be open, and for the most part, it always turns out to be a dope time. And Reflections has just been a dope time because I've been meeting more and more artists and more producers and more musicians, everybody that you can think of, saxophone players, met people out of state. And knowing, I thought, in the beginning, like, Reflections was going to be something so small, and just stick to the local, New Jersey cast. And now I'm looking at my numbers and I'm just seeing that I'm all over the world. I'm in Ireland, I'm in UK, I'm in Europe, I'm in fucking Jamaica, I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm like, mi gente, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
nice,
been such
nice,
a
nice.
dope time, and like a lot of people telling me feedback on, yo, I love how you're not afraid to speak on topics that a lot of people are afraid about. And that's what it's about, just having that connection and that relation as a people, because we're always on these screens. So if you don't want to talk about it in person, fine. I'm gonna have you talk about it or at least listen about it. You know what I'm saying? So you can find some healing off of it because we have enough confusion, enough bullshit, enough fake shit to be stressing
But
about.
but
Like,
but but what's the schedule of the podcast? Like, what's the best way to follow it?
you go on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, IG, on Instagram. You can follow it as Reflections with Val. Okay, and it airs every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And I have a different guest always come on. Like I said, a poet, a rapper, a producer, a singer, a photographer. I have them all. You know, I have magicians on, and I'll probably have more and more people. It's just a matter of escalating and having more people come on. I have a documentary series coming out. It's a YouTube original. So I'm moving. I'm
Oh,
doing things. I have merch coming out soon, so check out that. It's gonna be Martin themed, very '90s themed. So I'm gonna be like, ooh. I have
nice,
merch
nice,
coming
nice.
out. So yeah, I'm just moving and just having these singles and working on creating this album for you guys in the midst of all of this process. It's just, you know, getting photo shoots done, doing a lot of things because I also do some modeling on the side. I do all these things that I'm just picking up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
You
going
all
along for
over
the
the place.
ride.
I love it. I love it. But do you
Hmm.
know what's gonna be the first single? Or you don't know yet the name?
The first single, well, I have a song right now that I have that I'm working on. She said, "Energy says, hey babe, love it." Um, yes. The first song that I'm gonna come out, like I have a couple, but I don't really have a title of them yet. I have one that's just coming out that's for the intro of Reflections. So it's gonna
Okay,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, this is gonna be called Reflections, and then it's gonna be very like poetry vibes, very like elevate your mind, let your soul rise. It's gonna be like very like R&B soul vibes, like Floetry. You know, have you ever had the album Floetry or heard the album Floetry? It came out like in the 2000s. It was very
No.
like, okay. So it's very soul and poem based, basically styled together. So it's very like rap and poetry and like R&B mixed in one. So
Okay.
it very sounds like Lauryn Hill. Do you know Lauryn Hill?
Yeah, for
Or no?
sure. Come on, come on.
I just gotta make sure because I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I
For
gotta check my
sure,
history.
man.
I gotta make sure
No,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. You were
You
gonna
know what I
end up
mean?
the call, right? From the Fugees, for sure.
Yes, yes. So you know what she's like. You know when she raps like, "I play my
Yeah,
enemies
yeah,
like a
yeah,
game of
yeah. No,
chess, but
she's
I
good.
rest.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
stress. You don't smoke less." Yes, that's just basically her like not rapping, but really just talking. Like it's just like my chill. Like so that kind of vibe is what I'm looking for
for
in my
sure.
music. Very Lauryn Hill, very Jill Scott, very like vibes like that, and then give you another spin off of very funky, very like I want to give you guys a whole variety. It's not just because I'm diverse. I'm not just a one genre singer. I might want to do a Spanish single. I might want to do a bolero. I might want to do, like it depends on like how I feel. But for the
Yeah,
most part, it's gonna be fire because I'm gonna have always a live band. I'm not gonna always do this behind the track. Maybe I'll have a track and band, but I'm picking up piano and doing all these things to elevate my craft and to write more, to do more. And I'm just looking forward to this elevation. And like I tell people in my page, I am so glad to take you guys on this whole journey. I'm not being selfish at all with it. I'm not afraid of other people taking any of my stuff. Like I don't care about that. I think people are out here thinking that of others, but that's their own personal issues, that they gotta deal with.
no, but that's why
But
I was asking you if you was open to work with other people. Like, like let's say if like somebody wants to inbox you, that they want to work a song, a hook or something like that. Because I mean, that's what you said. Come on, man. You saying that you like that type of like Lauren Hill, and stuff like that. I mean, like that's like real music.
mhm.
So I'm sure with that, a lot of people wants to work with you. So do you leave that door open?
Basically, I do leave that door open. I'm doing a lot of features right now. That's what I'm saying. I have a lot of music. I'm doing features, and then I'm doing features with artists that are with live bands, and then I'm doing my own singles. So as I'm featuring in other people's songs, I'm doing my own music because I've recorded stuff from January that still hasn't been released because it's still being created, it's still being in process. Is just a matter of
Yeah.
when it's going to be able to be finalized. And finally, I'm going to go back to the studio for a couple of them. So I'm doing that plus recording my singles on the side. So there's a lot of music that's just gonna overflow. Like you're gonna see a bunch of Val, 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 Val everywhere. Like at a certain point, I feel like all the music and all the content of the songs are gonna come out all at once. Like I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness, I don't want it to be like this, but okay, but whatever. Like it's gonna be like
That's
that.
perfect. I love the energy. I love the smile. I love everything that you said.
Thank you.
Like it's true. Like it feels like it's real. So one last thing that I'm gonna ask you because we ask like every artist that comes is that says su firma. So you say your name. You say thank you. This is Solval. In the live. So you're just saying hi to us. So that way
Of
we're gonna keep it.
course.
And at the end of the year we're gonna do a mix with everything that we have.
Of course, of course. I'm gonna do it in both languages,
Oh,
because I do.
oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Nice.
just because I do it. I was like, so para terminar el episodio y todo, yo quería decir gracias a todos para tenerme aquí con ustedes y hablar con ustedes con todo que yo tengo que hacer, lo que yo hago con la música, con los artistas, es muy importante para mí. Y si ustedes quieren escuchar de las diferentes cosas que yo tengo, puedes enviarme en IG en soulfully_Val. So, y también tú puedes follow me también en SoundCloud, Spotify, Facebook, todo esto, ya tú sabes. y
Nice.
and then for English now, thank you guys for having me. I just wanted to say that I appreciate it. And that another thing is that I wanted to express that it's very important to me to express my importance to reflections with artists, poets, and people that have different walks of life. And just bringing everybody together and everybody don't stop, grinding, don't stop moving. Nadie para de trabajar, nadie para de ser nada, de sigue peleando, keep fighting and just, follow me because I'm going to be an inspiring motivational speaker. I'm going to be a motivational speaker soon. Quote me on that. And,
No, I love it. I love it.
you just follow me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Soulfully
Yep.
underscore Val and then Reflections with Val on Spotify, SoundCloud, all of that good stuff. You already know.
Okay,
Thank you
so
guys.
entonces mira, muchas gracias for real. Like, thank you so much. Like, you had like that wonderful energy, and for real, like, no joke. Like, I was high. I'm always high, but you said some stuff like, that I have to rewind and I'm gonna recheck. Cause like, anyways, we're gonna put that on YouTube. We're gonna send you the link and everything,
Of
and
course.
we're gonna follow you. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna inbox you for sure personally. Cause like, yeah, like I said,
Definitely.
people need to go and listen to what you do, and then they're gonna understand why we did this interview, because you have that vibe, you have that beautiful voice for real.
Thank you,
Plus you
bro.
have that podcast, so you're doing the same thing as we are doing too. And I didn't know you're Latina, so man, even like
Ya tú
more
sabes,
more
mi
love to you,
gente.
more love to you,
Mi
so
gente.
entonces, mira, muchas gracias,
De
Soulful
nada.
Val, aquí con Duende Peter Parker en el live. Muchas gracias a toda la gente que se conectó. Entonces, los vamos. And like I said, we're going to be here on YouTube tomorrow, man. Muchas
Gracias a todos
gracias, man. Please.
ustedes. Bye.
Bye.
El live, yo, 20 en el live desde Montreal sobre rap latino para el mundo. 20 en live.